course objectives, course outcomes, then syllabus, what is thermodynamics, different definitions of thermodynamics, applications of thermodynamics, important dimensions and units, some examples of units, dimensional homogeneity, laws of thermodynamics. Okay, today we'll start from system. We'll see system, boundary and surrounding. What is system? The area or the region which we have taken for the thermodynamic analysis is called the system. Consider this part. This part I have taken for my thermodynamic analysis. Therefore, this portion will be called as system, and everything external to that system is called as surrounding. Suppose I am working in a lab and I am taking everything of lab for my analysis. Then I will consider that lab as a system, and everything outside that lab is a surrounding, and wall of a lab will work as a boundary. But it is not every time I'm considering everything as a system. I can take simple part or the one machine or the one experimental setup as a system also, and everything external to that system is a surrounding and system is separated by a actual line or hypothetical line is called as a boundary. Now this boundary can be shrinkable and extendable. Suppose I'm shrinking the scope of my work, then boundary of this system will also shrink. If I'm expanding it, I'm expanding the scope of the work or the area of the work, the boundary of the system also increases. Look at the definition. System is a finite quantity of matter or a prescribed region for the space taken for thermodynamic study. The space which is taken for thermodynamic study is called as a system. Surrounding. Everything external to system is known as surrounding. Everything outside the system is called as surrounding. Boundary. The actual or hypothetical line enclosing the system is a boundary of the system. Consider I am working on a lab. I am considering work lab as a system. The wall of a lab will work as a boundary. Consider another example. If I am heating water in a pot, I kept that pot in a gas stove. The flame of a gas will come under the system, but flame is not bounded. The flame is in direct contact with the atmospheric air. Therefore, between flame and the atmospheric air, there is a hypothetical boundary. There is not an actual boundary. There is a hypothetical boundary. Okay, and if the size of flame increases, boundary of the system increases. The boundary may be fixed or it may be moved. As and when the system containing a gas is compressed or expanded. The boundary may be real or imaginary. Universe. Universe is the combination of system and surrounding. Okay. The area which we have considered for our research work or our thermodynamic study is called as system, and everything external to that system is the surrounding. If we combine system and surrounding, then it becomes universe. Thermodynamic system. First we'll see closed system. The closed system is the one in which only energy transfer takes place and mass of the system remains constant. Take this example, the hot water inside a beaker, hot water inside a beaker, and beaker is lid is uh, beaker is closed with the help of lid. The water cannot leave the boundary. The water cannot leave the boundary, but since it is hot, it can transfer the heat to the surrounding, or surrounding can transfer heat to the water. Therefore, heat transfer can take place, but mass transfer does not take place. Such systems are called as a closed system, or we can say the hot water kept on a pot, and that pot is covered with a lid, what will happen? The fume or the water vapor will trapped inside the pot itself. It will not come out of the pot, but heat transfer can take place between water and the surrounding. Such systems are called as closed system. Second example, the hot water bag. We use this bag for massaging the body. We pour hot water inside the bag and we massage the body with the help of this bag. The heat transfer takes place between hot water and the human body, but water remains inside the bag itself. Second, open system. In open system, mass and energy both crosses the boundary. Consider an example: a hot tea in a cup. The vapor of a tea is coming out of the cup and it is going to the atmosphere. It means mass of the tea is reducing. Mass of the tea is exchanging with the atmosphere. Also heat. Since it is open, heat transfer also takes place. If we consider the example hot water in a pot and it is kept in the atmosphere, open pot, then the vapor of the water will combine with the atmosphere and heat transfer also takes place. Second example, it is a compressor, or we can say a nozzle. It is a compressor form nozzle. When the air or the fluid enters in the system and leaves the system, such systems are called as a open systems. The system in which working fluid enters and leaves the system is called as a open system. Second example, cylinder and piston arrangement is there and one opening is there. From the opening, fluid can enter and leave this system. Therefore, such systems are called as open system. Closed system also called as a control mass and open system also called as a control volume. Open system is the one in which energy and mass both crosses the system boundary. Matter flows into or out of the system. Most of the engineering systems are open system. If we take an example of compressor, turbine, these are the open system. Internal combustion engine, these are the open system. Most of the engineering applications are based on the open system because working fluid enters and working fluid leaves. Jet engines, everything, most of the engineering applications are work on the open system. Next, isolated system. In closed system, only energy crosses the boundary, mass remains same. In open system, both energy and mass crosses the system boundary. The isolated system is the one in which neither mass nor energy crosses the boundary. An isolated system is a system which exchanges neither energy nor matter with any other system or with the environment. It's called as a isolated system. But one more thing which is very important about the isolated system is that isolated system doesn't give any work. Isolated system is further classified as adiabatic or insulated system. Adiabatic or insulated system. An adiabatic system is one which is thermally insulated from its surrounding. It can, however, exchange the work, but it can, however, exchange the work with its surrounding. If it does not, it becomes a isolated system. Okay. Adiabatic or insulated system is the one which does not allow energy or mass to cross the boundary, but it can give work. It can give work. If it is not able to give work, then it is isolated system. Okay, this is the example thermos flask. This is the example of isolated system, not an adiabatic system, because this cannot give any work. Suppose we are storing hot water, it will not allow water to lose its temperature or water to escape outside. Properties of the system. Any characteristics of a system is called as a property. Whenever we define the system, we use some characteristic to define the system. Suppose there is a man, I want to define some, I want to describe the man. I have to characterize it by some word like his name, his surname, his property, his job, his profession. These are the properties. Okay, they are the characteristics and the properties of a particular person. Therefore, system also have some characteristic, and these characteristics of the system are called as a property. Some familiar properties are pressure, temperature, volume, and mass. These are some familiar properties. The list can be extended to include less familiar ones such as viscosity, thermal conductivity, modulus of elasticity, thermal expansion coefficient, electric resistivity, and even viscosity and elevation. These are also the property of the system, but these are less familiar to us. Okay, but pressure, temperature, volume, and mass, which are familiar because we are studying this from our childhood. There are two types of properties: intensive property and extensive property. Whatever property I have uttered here, this property are divided into intensive property and the extensive property. Intensive property are the one which does not depend on the mass of the system. Intensive property are those that are independent of mass of the system, such as temperature, pressure, and density. Temperature does not depend on the mass, pressure does not depend on the mass. Suppose we are taking a water and we are heating it. Its temperature go on rising if we are continuously heating it. It does not depend on the mass. The temperature will go on increasing as we are supplying the heat. If that pot is closed with some lid, the pressure inside that pot, the pressure of water that inside that pot will also increase. Density. We know density is a mass upon volume. You will say that density is depend on mass, but density is not depend on mass. If we consider the water, if we take 1 kg of water, density of water is 1000. If we take 2 kg of water, density of water is 1000. If we take 1000 kg of water, density will remain same. Density doesn't change. Therefore, density is independent of mass, and it is intensive property. Extensive property are those whose value depend on the mass, the size or extent of the system, just like volume. If you take uh, 1 liter of water, the volume is less. If you take 2 liter of water, volume increases. If you take 3 liter of water, volume increases. Okay, we consider water as a standard fluid. Therefore, specific gravity of water is 1, isn't it? Therefore, 1 liter of water equal to 1 kg of water, isn't it? If we take 1 kg of water, the volume is 1 meter cube. Oh, sorry, 1 liter. If we take 2 kg of water, the volume is 2 liter. If we take 3 kg of water, volume is 3 liter. The volume is depend upon the mass of the water. If the mass of water decreases, volume also decreases. Therefore, volume is a extensive property. Total mass, since it is depend upon mass itself a extensive property. Total volume, total enthalpy, total entropy, and total momentum. We are talking about the total. When we talk about the total, it is inbuilt of a mass. When we talk about the total, the mass is there. And some examples of these properties are: if the extensive property is divided by mass, it becomes intensive property. If we divide total enthalpy by mass, it becomes specific enthalpy, and specific enthalpy is an intensive property, whereas total enthalpy is an extensive property. but specific enthalpy is a intensive property. Here total entropy is a extensive property, but we divide total entropy by mass, it becomes specific entropy, and specific entropy is intensive property. It means if we divide extensive property by mass, it becomes intensive property. Or if we take a ratio of two extensive property, it becomes intensive property. Density is a ratio of two extensive property. Density is a mass upon volume, and mass and volume both are extensive properties. Okay. Therefore, when you take a ratio of two extensive property or you divide extensive property by mass, it becomes intensive property. Okay, this is a gas cylinder and this is a thermometer. I have taken this thermometer for to represent the temperature, and gas cylinder, the gas is filled at a particular pressure. To just show how pressure is built in the cylinder and how temperature can be measured with the thermometer, the thing that. Phase. We know that the matter has three phases: solid, liquid and gaseous. A phase is a quantity of matter which is homogeneous throughout in chemical composition and physical structure. A phase is one which has homogeneous structure throughout in a chemical and physical structure, just like water. If the water is in a liquid form, completely liquid form, then we call it as a liquid phase. If the water is in a solid form, that is ice, we can call it as a solid phase. If the water is evaporate and it is completely in a vapor form or a steam form, we can call it as a gaseous phase. But it should not be a mixture of liquid and solid and gas, isn't it? The phase should have homogeneous in chemical and physical structure. Then homogeneous system. A system which consists of a single phase is termed as a homogeneous system. The phase consists of the system consists of a single phase. It is completely either it is completely liquid, completely solid, or completely gas. It is called as a homogeneous system. And the examples are mixture of air and water vapor. Mixture of air and water vapor. In atmospheric air, the atmospheric air is a composed of merely nitrogen and oxygen, and a part of water vapor is also induced, but we do not consider that as a air. Air is made up of nitrogen and oxygen and one part of other gases. Vapor is a air is a gas, and water vapor is also a gas. It can combine. We cannot distinguish that this is a air and this is a water vapor. Therefore, it is a homogeneous system. It is a homogeneous mixture. Water plus nitric acid and octane plus heptane. These are the homogeneous mixture. Now heterogeneous. When there is a combination of two phase or more than two phase, then it is called as a heterogeneous system. A system which consists of two or more phase is called as heterogeneous system. If we add some ice cubes in a water, then there are two phases, water and solid, liquid and solid. Then it is called a heterogeneous mixture. Or we add oil in a water. Oil are not soluble with water. Therefore, the layer of the oil and water will get separated, and such mixture are called as a homogeneous mixture. Sorry, heterogeneous mixture. Water plus steam cannot be mixed. Water plus steam cannot be mixed. Steam will be at uh, at lower portion there will be water, at higher portion above there will be steam. Ice plus water. Ice is in a solid form, water is in liquid form. It is heterogeneous mixture. And water plus oil. Water cannot be mixed with the oil. Pure substance. The pure substance is the one which is made up. The chemical composition of that substance is homogeneous throughout. Consider a water. Consider a water, even though water in a liquid form, solid form, or gaseous form. The chemical formula is same. Chemical formula of water is H2O. Chemical formula of ice is H2O. Chemical formula of steam is also H2O. It is called as a pure substance. It may be in any phase. It may be in solid phase, liquid phase, or gaseous phase, or maybe the combination of liquid water and solid water, or water and ice. A pure substance is one that has a homogeneous and invariable chemical composition even though there is a change of phase. In other words, it is a system which is homogeneous in composition, homogeneous in chemical aggregation. Mixture of water and ice. Homogeneous in composition. Composition means chemical formula is same of water and ice. Homogeneous in chemical aggregation. Liquid water, mixture of liquid water and steam, mixture of ice and water. These are the examples. The mixture of liquid air and gaseous air is not a pure substance. Mixture of liquid air and gaseous air is not a pure substance because gaseous air consists of other gases also. It may consist of water vapor, but liquid air consists of oxygen and nitrogen only. Thermodynamic equilibrium. Now, thermodynamic equilibrium, the system is said to be in thermodynamic equilibrium if the temperature, pressure at all points are same. There should be no velocity gradient. The chemical equilibrium is also necessary. A system is said to be in thermodynamic equilibrium if and only if there is no temperature or pressure at all acting differently. If the temperature and pressure at all point is the same, means the system is said to be in thermodynamic equilibrium only when the system has thermal equilibrium, chemical equilibrium, and mechanical equilibrium. The system under temperature and pressure equilibrium but not under the chemical equilibrium are sometimes said to be a metastable equilibrium condition. To have thermodynamic equilibrium, the system should be in thermal equilibrium and mechanical equilibrium. But sometimes if it is not in chemical equilibrium, then it is called as a metastable equilibrium condition. It is only under thermodynamic equilibrium condition that the properties of the system can be fixed. Thus, for attaining state of thermodynamic equilibrium, the following three type of equilibrium should be achieved. First is thermal equilibrium. Thermal equilibrium means the temperature of the system does not change with the time and has the some value at all point of a system. Suppose we are considering a gas as a system and gas is enclosed in a beaker. The every molecule of a gas has the same temperature. Then said to be it is in a thermal equilibrium. And one more thing is that it should not exchange temperature with a surrounding. Consider two bodies placed adjacent to each other. One is hot body and one is cold body. What will happen? The hot body will transfer its heat to the cold body. The temperature of hot body start reducing and temperature of cold body start increasing. At some point of time, both body will come at same temperature and stop exchanging the heat. That state of the body is called as a thermal equilibrium. Chemical equilibrium, sorry, mechanical equilibrium. There is no unbalanced force within the system or between the surrounding. The pressure in the system is the same at all points and does not change with respect to time. If we consider the gas in a closed bottle, the every particle of the gas acting same force on the bottle, acting same force, or there is no unbalanced force. That is called as a mechanical equilibrium. Or there is no force acting, or there is no mechanical uh, unbalanced force in the system. That is called as a mechanical equilibrium. Chemical equilibrium. Chemic No chemical reaction takes place in the system and the chemical composition which is same throughout the System does not vary with the time. If in the system there is no chemical reaction is taking place, then the system is said to be in a chemical equilibrium. With the time, there is no change in the chemical composition. Thermodynamic path, process and cycle. Consider this figure. Consider this figure as a PV diagram. This is pressure line, this is a volume line. Pressure and volume are the property. Therefore, I have written here property and property B. Consider property A is pressure, property B is volume. And this is a process. Process 1 to 2 is a process. Point 1 represents the state 1 and point 2 represents the state 2. What is meant by state? The condition of a system at a particular instance of a time is called as a state. Let us example a person having a particular financial condition. We consider that as it is a state of a particular man. Okay, and that state of a person is represented by the how much money or what is the position to that person that represents the state of a person. Similarly, state of a thermodynamic system is represented by at least two properties. Consider pressure and temperature or pressure and volume. It has a particular pressure and particular temperature. It is called as a state of a system. If that property goes on changing and finally it reaches to the another state, then it is called as a process. That is called as a process. Now, from initial state to final state, it follows some path or the locus. The locus followed by the process is called as a path. The this red line represents the process. Red line represents the process. The initial point and final point represent the state. Initial state and final state. And during the process, the path followed by the process is called as a process path. Now consider another figure, PV diagram. 1 to 2 is a process, 2 to 3 is a process, 4 to 5 is a process, 3 to 4 is a process, 4 to 1 is a process. Process 1 to 2 is constant volume process. Process 2 to 3 is constant pressure process. Process 3 to 4 is a constant volume process again, and process 4 to 1 is a constant pressure process. These are the process. Process 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 1. This is process. Now it follows the path. It follows the path 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 1. This is the path followed by the process. Therefore, path is 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 1 is the path. Okay. When initial state and final state is the same, during the process, when initial state and final state is the same, then this process is referred as a cycle. Okay, here you can see your process starts from 1 and ends to 1. Therefore, this is a cycle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 is a cycle. Path. The path refers to a series of a state changes through which the system passes during the process. Thus, path refers to a loci of a various intermediate states passes through by a system during a process. A process occurs when the system undergoes a change of state or an energy transfer at a steady state. Process occurs when the system undergoes a change of state. Initially state was 1, finally state is 2. When the system undergoes a change of state, that is called as a process. And during a change of state, the path followed by the process is called as a process path. Cycle refers to a typical sequence of a processes in such a fashion that the initial and final state are identical. The system is a one in which the process occurs one after another so as to finally bring the system at the same state. Remember, The system finally brings to the initial state. System, system started process from point 1 and end at point 1 again. Look at here, it is a PV diagram. The process is, this is the initial state and this is the final state. The change in volume of this process is represented by Vi and Vf. Therefore, change in volume is a Vf minus Vi. Suppose this is 1 and this is 2. Then change in volume will be called as a V2 minus V1. Since the change of property is represented by final and initial state, then it is called as a point function. Consider the pressure. Consider it is a pressure P1 and it is pressure P2. Change in pressure is represented by P2 by P1. Then it is called as a point function. Point function. When two properties locate a point on the graph or the coordinate axis, then those properties are called as a point function. Means those properties which are represented by initial state and the final state. Such properties are called as a point function. Pressure, volume and temperature, entropy, enthalpy, these are the point function. These are represented by initial state and the final state. If we take a difference of initial and final, it gives a difference. Example, pressure, temperature, volume, etc. Enthalpy, entropies are also there. And the differential of such point function is called as an exact differential. It is represented by dV. And dV is a change in volume which is V2 minus V1. And if I want to find a complete change in volume, then we have to integrate from point 1 to 2. Then it becomes V2 minus V1. Integration of dV with respect from point 1 to 2 is V2 minus V1. Path function. There are some properties like work and heat which cannot be represented by initial and final point. Such properties, such quantities are called as a path function. Heat and work are the path function. Since it is a path function, these are not a property of system. Those are point function. Such point function properties are the properties. The point function quantities are called as a property, and path function quantities are not the properties of system. Path function. There are certain quantities which cannot be located on a graph by a point, but are given by the area also on the graph. In that case, the area on the graph pertaining the particular process is a function of the path of the process. Such quantities are called as a path function. Consider a process I to F. The area under this process is represented by the path. The area under this process represented by this path, and this path is called as a work. Therefore, work is always referred as the area under the curve. Area under the curve. This, if you want to calculate area, then we have to. If you want to calculate work, then we have to consider this area. This area gives the work. Example, heat and work are the path function. Therefore, heat and work are not the properties of the system. Pressure, temperature, volume, enthalpy, entropy, these are the point functions. Therefore, these are property of the system. Since work and heat cannot be represented by its initial state and final state, it is represented by area under the curve. Therefore, the differential of work and heat is inexact. Heat and work are inexact differential. Their changes cannot be written. Difference between their end state. Thus, integration 1 to 2. The differential of work and heat is inexact. Therefore, we write it as a delta Q, and integration 1 to 2 of delta q is not equal to q2 minus q1, which is different than the point function. Here integration 1 to 2 dv is equal to v2 minus v1. If we take dt, it will be t2 minus t1. If we take dp, it will be p2 minus p1. But in case of work and heat, it is not like that. Integration of 1 to 2 delta q is not equal to q2 minus q1, but it can be referred as q12 or q12. Similarly, since work is inexact differential or the path function, it is represented by delta w, and total work is represented by integration 1 to 2 delta w, not equal to w2 minus w1, but it can be represented as w12 or w12 like this. The operator delta is used to denote inexact differential, and operator d is used to denote exact differential. Reversibility and irreversibility. The thermodynamic system that is capable of restoring its original state by reversing the factors responsible for occurrence of the process is called reversible system, and the thermodynamic process involved is called as a reversible process. Now consider a pot, there is a water. I am supplying heat to the water, and water gets boiled and water converted into steam. Even though the steam cooled and convert into water, that water cannot return the heat to the gas stove. Such processes are not a reversible process. The reversible process in which if we are supplying the heat and system is giving work done, if we work supplied to the system should give heat back, and there is no influence on environment. Such processes are called as a reversible process, and during the reversible process, heat and work supplied to the system is remains same, or the heat and work interaction in the universe is remains constant, or we can say it is a zero. Heat and work interaction in the universe during a reversible process is zero. A reversible process is defined as a process that can be reversed without leaving any trace on the surrounding. That is, both the system and the surrounding are returned to their initial state at the end of the reverse process. If there is a reversible process, after completing the process, when it is reverting its direction, it should not give any trace to the surrounding. If the heat is supplied to the surrounding, that heat should be recovered by the surrounding. It should not leave any trace to the surrounding. This is possible only if the net heat and work exchange between the system and surrounding is zero. Net heat and net work exchange between the system and surrounding is zero for the combined original and reverse processes. Irreversible process. Irreversible system are those which does not maintain equilibrium during the occurrence of the process. Processes that are not reversible are called as an irreversible process. Consider process 1 to 2. Consider this example, PV diagram. Process 1 to 2 is one process, and process 1 to 2 is one process, and 2 to 1 is second process. Process 1 to 2 and 2 to 1 is a reversible process. While process 1 to 2, this process follows this particular path. Pressure is decreasing and volume is increasing. When process 2 to 1 follows same path and returning to the same point. Initial state and final state was same and the path followed by the process also same. That is called a reversible process. Now second example, process 3 to 4. Process 3 to 4 follows this path and process 4 to 3 follows another path. The process 3 to 4 following different path, it will affect the atmosphere or the surrounding, and during process 4 to 3 the trace will be lived in the surrounding and that trace is not recovered from the surrounding. Such processes are called as irreversible process even though the initial state and final state is same. Initial state and final state is same, it is not following the same path. For the reversible process, the condition is it should follow the same path. Process 1 to reversible process following and 2 1 is equilibrium state. Process 3 4 is a reversible process following and 4 3 non-equilibrium state. Consider a pendulum. Pendulum is oscillating on a particular locus. It oscillates on the same locus to and fro. Therefore, this is a reversible process. Or consider a quasi-static process. Consider a quasi-static process. Quasi-static process is a very slow process. Therefore, at every point of a quasi-static process, we consider as an equilibrium condition.